Hello, I'm your host, Rick Gordon, and this is DownTime, the reality day talk show where we bring you your fictional characters into reality and ask them some of life's deepest questions. Our guests today are Daisy Stubbs, a 17-year-old basketball star from Dewey High School in New York, and Alex Sawyer, a 14-year-old penitentiary fugitive. Let's give them a warm welcome. Hello and welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. So, tell me a little bit about yourselves.
Well, I'm a junior at Dewey High School, and basketball is pretty much the only thing I know how to do. I'm not the greatest student in the world, but I try. Sometimes. You know, I've got a pretty good life. Unlike most kids my age, I actually like my parents.
Alex, what about you? You've been awfully quiet.
Are we live? Is this broadcasting?
Yes, of course.
Oh no. I really shouldn't be here. I can't go back.
Back where?
Furnace, you idiot! The place where lost children dwell. Beneath heaven is hell, and beneath hell is furnace.
Don't you think you're over-exaggerating just a little bit? Okay, so Daisy, I hear you took the SATs. How did that go?
Well, that's actually a pretty funny story. Well, okay, here's how it starts. So, I was at this SAT prep thing with Max when
And this Max character, is he your significant other?
Oh God! No, we are just friends. Nothing more. Why? What did he say?
What do I have to say about Daisy? She's one of the most gorgeous, talented girls I've ever met. And to be honest, I feel like we have this connection. And we've been friends for so long, and I feel like we could be something more.
Oh, nothing.
I had a best friend once. His name was Toby.
Oh.
We were robbing this house. I was late last one night, and they came. Toby was downstairs, and I was upstairs, and I heard him scream, so I ran down to see what was going on. To my surprise, there were 6 men, all identical, and all seeming to blend into the darkness surrounding us. A small man with a gas mask looked into my eyes and told me to say goodbye to my best friend. I didn't know what he meant by it until I heard the gunshot. They had killed my best friend and were now blaming me. That's how I ended up in that godforsaken hellhole.
So Daisy, your story.
Okay. Well, anyways, like I was saying, we were at this stupid SAT prep thing, and the teacher, first off, was late, and when he finally did decide to show up, he forgot the actual tests. So when he went to go look for them, I decided I had had enough and was going home. To my surprise, 2 other kids followed me and Max out. Leo Thayer and Jane Cotterell.
Wait, did you say Jane Cotterell? Julia Cotterell's daughter?
Yeah, her. Anyway, when we walked out, we realized we couldn't go home because then all our parents would realize that we ditched. Fortunately enough, Jane's parents weren't home, so we went over to her house. Once we were there, we realized we didn't need those people. We could just study on our own. So the 4 of us formed our own little study group.
And how did that go?
Well, I almost quit. Twice. Because, like I said, I'm not the greatest student ever. But after some convincing from the group and a reassuring phone call from Leo, I decided to give it another shot. Because, I do need that scholarship.
What do you mean? Why do you need the scholarship?
Well, it's not like my family's poor or anything. It's just that college just isn't in our budget.
And this Leo you mentioned, what's his story?
Well, he's pretty book smart, but when it comes to common sense, not so much. I don't think getting wasted before every party is exactly intelligent. That's probably why Max hated him so much, and why our relationship turned out so horribly.
I've seen some pretty horrible things. The night before we planned to escape, my cellmate and newfound friend, Donovan, was taken by the Weezers. We knew one of us wasn't going to survive the night. We were discussing how if one of us succeeded to escape, we'd try to come back and save the other. Then they were there. A command from the black suit sent the cell doors crashing open, and in a blink of an eye, the guard was inside. A massive hand wrapped around Donovan's neck, pulling him out as if he weighed nothing, holding him up above the ground. I threw myself forward, but the giant used his other hand to swipe me away. I felt like I'd been hit by a car, sliding across the floor and smashing into the bunks. By the time I'd gotten to my feet again, the cell door was rattling shut. I called out to Donovan as the gas mask slid a needle from his belt. I watched as he stabbed it into Donovan's neck. And in an instant, he went limp and silent. I was so stunned that all I could do was sit and watch as my best friend was being dragged to his death. As the door closed behind him, I collapsed onto the floor, calling out his name and wishing with all my heart that I had been the one who'd taken instead.
Okay, so it's time for our Q&A session. We've asked some of our viewers to send in their questions via Twitter with the hashtag I'm curious. We've also brought in some of our guests' closest friends. Let's see what they had to say.
I'm afraid I'm never going to be good enough. If I don't go to Yale, I will never be able to make anything of myself.
The worst thing that could happen would be me being dragged back down into furnace and not fulfilling my promise to Donovan.
I feel like the only attention I ever get is when someone asks me about my famous mother, or when I catch her creepy boyfriend James staring at me. I only cheated on my SAT because I wanted someone to notice my absence, but no one did.
I feel like complete crap. If I were to ever be thrown back into a furnace, I would off myself right there. I'd rather die than spend another minute down there.
Honestly, you just have to obey. If you do what people tell you, things will come so much easier. Sometimes, you just have to sit back.
You just have to do what's right. Follow your heart. No matter what people say to you or tell you what to do, just do what you want. You have to take control and make things happen. You can't just sit and wait for things to come to you.
The system. You do you, man. You do you.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Join us next week for our therapy session with Big Brother and Emmanuel Goldstein. Good night. Yeah.
No. Okay, we're recording that. Whoops. What feels right? Follow your heart. No matter what people tell you to do, just do what you want. You can't. Oh, shit.